Before we start today's video, guys, I wanted to give you guys an opportunity to cop your official copy of Mike the PI's Quick Guide for Empowering Black Men to Travel More, written by yours truly, available in paperback form, as well as ebook, available on Amazon.com. If you look at the description, the link in the description there below, you'll see the copy of the book. Make sure you go get your copy. Definitely one hell of a read. Let's go ahead and get into today's video, sponsored by myself. All right, y'all. Good doc back again once again. Let's lock in. All right. So I don't know if y'all been hearing this, but you hear it more often than not that black men are out here putting foreign women on a pedestal. And women in the West are pissed off about it. They angry as hell about it. But I'm hoping that by the end of this video, hopefully I can at least give you an explanation as to why that is, so that you have an understanding as to it's not so much putting them on a pedestal as it's just the way that it is based off of certain circumstances, variables, and things of that nature that may come off as if you're putting them on a pedestal. If I were to take the average modern woman here in the United States, average, and compare her to an average woman from any foreign country, 99.9% of the time, on paper, pros and cons, the foreign woman would win most of the time. Like I said, 99.9% of the time. Now, you'll ask, why is that, Doc? Why would the foreign woman win 99.9% of the time? Damn near 100. Let's break it down for you real quick. If I had to think about what it would be like dating the modern young lady, average modern young lady, dealing with entitlement, social media influence. So she's not really in it. She just seems to be around it. Not so much, it being real and authentic. Her beauty standards and all of that stuff are compared to everybody else's, right? Then you have, like I said, entitlement behavior, social media influences are rampant. And the demands and the feeling that all men are oppressing them. The attitudes and behavior alone is enough to just make you want to pull whatever little hair I don't have on my head, right? Flip-flop over to the foreign young lady. There's just not as much of the issues that we deal with women in the West in places like the East, right? We're not so much having to deal with all of the social media influences, the back talk, the behavior, the attitudes, and all that stuff. And it's not so much docile and submissiveness that goes into it, but it's more or less the respect and the femininity. That's something that you hear in almost every video. It seems as though women in the West have lost their femininity, right? It's all about feminism now. It's all about the masculine men behavior, trying to be the man in a relationship, trying to dominate the relationship, as opposed to letting the man lead. Now, there's always going to be the conversation, well, if the man ain't doing shit, he ain't making money, and the woman's making more money, why don't they let the woman lead, and this, that, and the other? And, whenever I feel like you have to have that conversation and you button heads all the time on that, that's just an issue that a lot of men don't have to deal with when it comes to women abroad. Women abroad are happy to let their man lead. Now, let me say this before shit gets out of hand. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, there are some bad seeds or bad apples abroad, okay? It's not as if every girl you meet abroad is going to be on point. But more likely than not, there are far more women abroad that are on point than are off of it, as opposed to here in the U.S., where it seems as though the majority ruin it for the minority, right? Because there are some young ladies here that are willing to do everything that it takes to keep the relationship good, play their part and their role in the relationship. And then there are far more that are willing to say, no, fuck that. Men ain't shit. Men ain't needed. We don't need it for anything. They're only good for sperm donors. They're this, that, and the other. And that type of talk is what's making men leave the United States, period, and date abroad. That type of information and that type of talk is why a lot of guys are like, yo, why do I want to deal with women who are simply out here telling me they don't need me? You see, that's the mentality. It's the craziest thing. Ladies, y'all are out here shitting on black men and men in general all the time, talking about how you don't need a man, how you don't need this, how you don't need that. But then we leave and then you get mad. I'm like, how you gonna be mad at us leaving when you just said a minute ago you don't need us, right? And it baffles me that that you would get this type of shade and shame, for choosing to date who you want to date or be with who you want to be with. I don't really hear a lot of men getting mad at women's dating choices and preferences. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe y'all see it. I don't. I don't see a lot of men shaming women for their dating preferences and choices. It's usually when men choose to date out, that's when shit hits the fan. Now, if a brother chooses to date a white girl, you go hear about it. If a brother chooses to date a four women, you'll hear about it. But likely, when a young lady chooses to date a white dude, maybe somebody might say some shit, but it's very rare. It usually falls flat, in my opinion. I don't really hear as much of that coming out. And sometimes it may be the women that don't like the fact that other women are doing it, blah, blah, blah. Everybody wants to have their say so in their opinion about somebody else's relationship when it really ain't their fucking relationship, so they should just shut the fuck up. But in reality, man, everybody wants to have an opinion about what you're doing. So when we date abroad and we choose to big up these young ladies or say positive things about them, that's pretty much what it is. When we choose to have positive conversations and say positive things about the young ladies that we date, guess what? Oh, y'all just putting these girls on a pedestal. They ain't really all that. They ain't really all this. And in reality, everybody knows this, man. Men are the easiest motherfuckers on the planet to satisfy. We are. We are. We do not ask very much, right? Okay, keep yourself together if you can. You know what I'm saying? I know having a baby might fuck that up. But overall, keep yourself together, right? A little sex every now and again, whenever we need it. Keep the household clean and, respect us as the man. And I do believe that if you do those simple things, men will do everything else, right? Men will do everything else. Sometimes we need alone time, so allow us to have our alone time. Outside of that, men don't ask for much at all. I mean, really, what else do we ask for? We're not looking for your money, your resources, or your salary. We have opted or have chosen to take on that responsibility because that is what is innate in us as men. That is what we do as men. Our duty, for the majority of men, not all men, we have taken on the responsibility of taking care of a woman. If we're going to be with somebody, chances are we're going to be with them and we're going to take care of everything. We're not really looking for a woman to take care of us. Now, the Pookies and the Ray Rays, I can't speak for them. And I do believe that when women talk about men ain't shit this and men ain't shit that and all of this and that and all the negative naysayer things they have to say about men, most of the time, these are the particular gentlemen that they are referring to when they have these conversations about what men ain't doing and men ain't this and men ain't that. But then again, ladies and gentlemen, these are your charismatic characters, right? The guys that have good words and the guys that are edgy and the guys that have probably been in and out of jail. And that seems to be what attracts a lot of ladies and shit, right? Because they have this more protective nature about them. But although they may be, give me a second. Like I said, when it comes down to it, ladies and gentlemen, it just seems as though these are the guys they talking the most shit about. But yet and still, this is supposed to be representative of all men. And, like I said, maybe it's not all women in the West that act like this, but it seems to be the majority, right? It seems to be the majority that have these types of attitudes and energies that have become very, very, very close to impossible to deal with, right? Now, again, I pray everybody finds love, right? That Rihanna song, Found Love in a Hopeless Place, right? Right? I hope everybody finds the one for them, right? I will never shit on somebody for dating outside the culture. Again, that's like the pot calling the kettle black, right? If you want to stay within the culture, that's even more beautiful. I respect that too. But I don't believe that you can sit there and be mad at us for dating women and somewhat putting them on a pedestal when it seems that their energy matches more of our energy than dealing with women in the modern world. That's all I gotta say, ladies and gentlemen, man. This has been a good job, man. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Doc's back into his element, yo. Gotta get the day job back, right? So this is why I'm recording this on the while I'm working, all right? But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I love y'all, man. I appreciate y'all locking in. Like I said, if you love the video, like, share, comment, and subscribe. It's been a good doc. Y'all take care. Y'all stay blessed, man. Doc is out. Peace.